maintained by the County of Ulster, known as Ulster County Urgent Forfeiture Division accounts. And whereas pursuant to the MOUs and guidelines set forth by the United States Department of Justice Criminal Division Asset and Forfeiture Section, the town of Shandaken has sought a distribution of monies that were seized and are in Ulster County Urgent Forfeiture Division accounts. Therefore, be it resolved, in consideration of the payment of $5,000 to the town of Shandaken and the town of Shandaken Police Department from the Ulster County Urgent Forfeiture Division accounts, does recognize and agree to all the terms set forth in the agreement with Ulster County for the release of aforementioned funds and move its adoption.
I'll second.
Board Member Bartlett?
Yes.
Board Member Bernstein?
Yes.
Board Member Higley?
Yes.
Board Member Jordan?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley?
Yes.
Resolution 62-13, appointing special prosecutors for town court. Whereas under Section 20, notes of Decision 9 of Town Law, the town board shall appoint all employees of the town. Therefore, be it resolved that Dana Blackman, Esquire, and Kevin Bryant, Esquire, be appointed to serve as special prosecutors and to serve at the pleasure of the town board and to be paid X dollars per hour, not to exceed $20,000. I'm sorry.
Yeah, how much?
X.
I got X. $150 per an hour, not to exceed $15,000 for the remainder of the calendar year 2013 when performing the duties of said office. And move its adoption.
Is that 15,000 or 20? I got 20 on mine.
15. I'll second it.
Board Member Bartlett?
Yes.
Board Member Bernstein?
Just on some discussion, I know that they get paid $150 an hour, and we're paying them from the time they leave home to here, which they figure out to be about 40 minutes each way, so that's 80 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes. I'd rather pay them 55 cents an hour like everybody else gets in this town instead of $170 an hour. They're playing the door.
Well and good, but that's not the way the attorneys say. I wish to say
That's what we pay all our other town employees when they use their own car.
but attorneys are not charged that way. They don't get charged that way. If you could find an attorney that does it that way, then you're more than welcome to
Probably-
entertain and hiring them.
There's probably one in the back.
Just got the drive one.
Yes.
I said yes.
Should we start the vote?
Oh, shit.
Board Member Plott, are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Board Member Bartlett, yes.
Yes.
Board Member Bernstein?
Yes.
Board Member Higley?
Yes.
Board Member Jordan?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley?
Yes.
You have it. Travel?
Resolution 63-13, appointing Keller, and Javin Esquire as defense of the town. Whereas Carolee Petty as executives of the estate of Alfonso de Paulo commenced an action in State of New York Supreme Court, County of Ulster, against the town of Shandaken and against Eric Hoffmeister in his capacity of Highway Superintendent of the town of Shandaken, as well as against the town of Lexington and Larry Cross as Superintendent of Highways for the town of Lexington, with respect to the right of the public to use a portion of Pine Hill Road or Upper Birch Creek Road. And whereas Attorney Tal G. Rapalea, thank you, of T. New York, was returned in 2008 to defend the town of Shandaken and Eric Hoffmeister as Highway Superintendent in said lawsuit. And whereas Mr. Rapalea has asked to be relieved as counsel with respect to his representation of the town of Shandaken and Eric Hoffmeister in said litigation. Now, therefore, it be resolved that the town of Shandaken consents that Tal G. Rapalea be relieved as counsel for the town of Shandaken and Eric Hoffmeister as Highway Superintendent in said lawsuit, and be it further resolved that the law firm of Keller and Javin Esquires, Kingston, New York, be retained to represent the town of Shandaken and Eric Hoffmeister as Highway Superintendent in said lawsuit, and be it further resolved that the town supervisor of the town of Shandaken and Eric Hoffmeister as Highway Superintendent are hereby authorized to execute a consent to change attorneys, form, and such other instruments as are reasonably necessary to transfer the town's file in this litigation from Tal G. Rapalea Esquire to the law firm of Keller and Payne. I move its adoption.
I'll second.
Board Member Bartlett?
Yes.
Board Member Bernstein?
Yes.
Board Member Higley?
Will recuse.
Board Member Jordan?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley?
Yes.
What's the basis for the recusal?
I have some ongoing litigation with that attorney.
Resolution number 64-13, appointing a recycling attendant. Whereas under Section 20 notes of Decision 9 of the town law, the town board shall appoint all employees of the town. Therefore, be it resolved that Joseph R. Rotella Jr. be appointed to serve as town recycling attendant and to serve at the pleasure of the town board, and to be paid $10 per hour, not to exceed $7,000 for the remainder of the calendar year 2013 when performing the duties of said office, and I move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Bartlett?
Yes.
Board Member Bernstein?
Yes.
Board Member Higley?
Yes.
Board Member Jordan?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley?
Yes.
Resolution 6513, interim assessor's aid. Whereas under Section 20 notes of Decision 9 of the town law, the town board shall appoint all employees of the town. Therefore, be it resolved that Grace Grant be appointed to serve as interim assessor's aide and to serve at the pleasure of the town board, and to be paid $10.30 per hour, not to exceed $16,583 for the remainder of the calendar year 2013 when performing the duties of said office. I move its adoption.
Board Member Bartlett?
Yes.
Board Member Bernstein?
Yes.
Board Member Higley?
Yes.
Board Member Jordan?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley?
Yes. Resolution 6613, resolution for agreement with Municipal Nationwide Payment Solutions LLC. Whereas the Town of Shandaken Town Clerk's Office would like to start accepting payment by credit or debit card as a convenience for the citizens of the town. And whereas general municipal law allows local governments to accept credit and debit card payments for, among other things, permits, fees, water bills, licenses, taxes, or other charges pertaining to the Town Clerk's Office and the Building and Zoning Departments. And whereas said payments by credit debit card will be accepted at the Town Clerk's window through the mail, email, or by telephone. And whereas there will be no cost, there will be no cost to the town for setup of this service or the service itself, and that only a small convenience fee, 2.45% or $3 minimum, will be charged to the customer for this convenience. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Shandaken hereby authorizes the town supervisor to enter into contract with Municipal Nationwide Payment Solutions LLC of 400 Technology Way, Scarborough, Maine, 04074, to provide this service to our citizens and for its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Bartlett?
Yes.
Board Member Bernstein?
Yes.
Board Member Higley?
Yes.
Board Member Jordan?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley?
Yes.
Whereas Parkinson's disease is a progressive neurological movement disorder of the central nervous system which has a unique impact on each patient. And whereas according to the Parkinson's Action Network of Health, there are over 1 million Americans diagnosed with Parkinson's disease yearly. Whereas symptoms include slowness, tremor, difficulty with balance, and speaking rigidly, cognitive and memory problems. And whereas although new medicines and therapies may enhance life for some time for people with Parkinson's, more work is needed for a cure. And whereas increased education and research are needed to help find more efficient treatments with fewer side effects and ultimately a cure for Parkinson's disease. And whereas a multidisciplinary approach to Parkinson's disease care includes local wellness, support, and caregiver groups. And whereas April has been proclaimed Worldwide Parkinson's Awareness Month for all to recognize the need for more research and help in dealing with the devastating effects of Parkinson's disease. And therefore be it resolved that the Town of Shandaken Town Board does hereby proclaim April 2013 as Parkinson's Awareness Month in the Town of Shandaken and move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Bartlett?
Yes.
Board Member Bernstein?
Yes.
Board Member Higley?
Yes.
Board Member Jordan?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley?
Yes.
Resolution 68-13, resolution approving pickup truck purchase. Whereas the Town of Shandaken Highway Department is in need of a new pickup truck, and whereas the Town of Shandaken Highway Superintendent has located a 2013 Ford F-250 pickup through New York State OGS bid. Therefore be it resolved that the Town of Shandaken Town Board approve the purchase of a 2013 Ford F-250 pickup truck for a price not to exceed $27,000. And move its adoption.
I'll second.
Board Member Bartlett?
Yes.
Board Member Bernstein?
Yes.
Board Member Higley?
Yes.
Board Member Jordan?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley?
Yes.
Resolution number 69-13, resolution approving dump truck purchase. Whereas the Town of Shandaken Highway Department is in need of a new dump truck, and whereas the Town of Shandaken Highway Superintendent has located the 2014 International 7600 Series Tri-Axle dump truck through county bid, therefore be it resolved that the Town of Shandaken Town Board approve the purchase of a 2014 International 7600 Series Tri-Axle dump truck for a price not to exceed $160,000 U.S. I move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Bartlett?
Yes.
Board Member Bernstein?
Yes.
Board Member Higley?
Yes.
Board Member Jordan?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley?
Yes.
Rob, you want to give him number 7? 7 you didn't get printed out.
Whereas the town, Resolution 7013, resolution approving gravel crushing bid. Whereas the Town of Shandaken Highway Department advertised for bids for crushing of item 4 at the town-owned gravel bank following the town board meeting on February 4, 2013. And whereas bids were received at the town clerk's office, Shandaken Town Hall, 7209 Route 28, P.O. Box 67, Shandaken, New York 12480, no later than 3 p.m. on Monday, March 4, 2013, with bids to be opened at the town board meeting on the same date at 7 p.m. Therefore, be it resolved that the Town of Shandaken Town Board approve the bid from
Okay, we have Clark, P.O. Box 427, Delhi, 13753. Their bid price is $3.60 per ton. And the second one is from Mombakis Excavating, 710 Cherrytown Road, Kerhonkson, New York. It's $4.98 per ton.
that makes it fairly straightforward.
There's only 2 bids?
2 bids. That's it.
Can't wait?
He's a man, right?
Yeah, I know, simple
That's
man.
easy.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever easier.
3, maybe 4.
So therefore be it resolved that the Town of Shandaken Town Board approve the bid from, I believe it's Clark Excavating?
Clark, just
Clark.
Clark Management Group, Clark Stone Products.
From Clark Stone Products located in Delhi, New York, for the bid amount of $3.60 a ton, and will furnish a closed circuit plant, fuel, and manpower to run the plant and loader. I move its adoption.
Second.
Just discussion, does Eric Hopmeister have any input on this?
I looked at him and shaking his
I
head
couldn't
yes,
hear it rattle,
and
and I can't see that well.
I have the resolution from 2
All right.
years ago where we paid $350, so it's
Okay.
not that far off from what we did 2 years ago.
All right.
Okay, Board Member Bartlett?
Yes.
Board Member Bernstein?
Yes.
Board Member Higley?
Yes.
Board Member Jordan?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley?
Yes. And that will be the end of resolutions. Okay, thanks for all coming, appreciate it. At this point, we will open it up for public comment. I will again ask that people keep their comments civil. We will not continue this debate for a lengthy period of time, as I'm sure it can continue on perpetually. This is a nationwide debate basically on this topic. I do have Councilman Jordan would like to say a few remarks before receiving comments, and the first person up after Mr. Jordan is Karen Sharp, who had contacted us earlier today and asked.
Thanks, Rob. Yeah, I'd like to make a few statements about our resolution 5813 that was in opposition to the New York State SAFE Act. I believe that the SAFE Act was ill-conceived legislation. I think it was a reaction to a tragedy. It was political grandstanding, in my opinion, and it was a violation of the Second Amendment to the Constitution. It limits the ability of law enforcement. It deems current legal firearms illegal. And in the opinion of many, it will not reduce the potential violence of criminals or the mentally ill. It may make criminals out of law-abiding citizens. Take a brief look at the Declaration of the Bill of Rights. First Amendment to the Bill of Rights: freedom of speech, press, religion, assembly, etc. The Second Amendment is the right to bear arms. It says nothing about hunting. The Fourth Amendment protects illegal search and seizure, 5th, protection from self-incrimination and assures due process. The 6th, guarantees a speedy trial and the right to counsel. The 7th, outlaws common law for civil proceedings. The 8th, protects us from excessive bail and unusual punishment. The 9th, protects the rights not specifically enumerated in the Constitution. And the 10th, outlines states' rights and limits the power of the federal government to those outlined in the Constitution. If you notice, I skipped the 3rd Amendment. Other than the judge, does anybody know what the 3rd Amendment says? Yes.
You can't have the Army come into your home.
Right.
And use your food and housing like they used to take over homes.
Good, it was a quartering act. Yeah, the 3rd provides protection from having to quarter troops in your home, as the British did prior to the American Revolution, and it was a major factor in the reason that we fought in the first place, in spite of unfair taxes. Troops could move into your house, they could take your food, take your property, and then throw you out of your own house. If a tyrannical government sent people into your home today, would you rather want to have a firearm or a knife to protect your property? British troops were also known to rape American women. So if a soldier came to your house, took your wife or your daughter, trashed your house, wouldn't you want to have adequate protection, such as a firearm? It's easy to see why our founding fathers wanted to assure all Americans the right to bear arms. Why do you think Hitler took away the arms of the German citizens prior to World War II? There are approximately 320 million privately owned firearms in the United States. Statistically, the number of incidents involving firearms is very, very low. Also, private firearms kept the Japanese from invading the United States during World War II. Armed citizens are a deterrent to foreign invasion. It's the criminal behind the gun that's the problem, and most tragedies, especially those at schools, take place in gun-free zones. Second Amendment's about national defense. It's one of the principles upon which our nation was founded, and it's against oppressive, tyrannical government. I abhor gun violence, but I don't believe that stricter gun control is the answer. I suggest we enforce our existing laws, we impose harsh penalties for those who break these laws, we treat mental illness, we reduce access to media that promotes gun violence like many of the current video games do, and as an educator for over 40 years, we need to improve the security in our schools. Stricter gun control may be the first step to legislative confiscation of certain legal firearms. And where does the undermining of our Constitution stop? That's why I supported Resolution 5813. Thank you.
Anyway, thank you for your comments and also for allowing me to speak tonight. 283 people have signed a petition that disagrees with this resolution that you passed last month. I'm just going to read the language of our petition. We, the undersigned people of Shandaken, hereby state our strong objection to Shandaken Town Board Resolution 5813, the resolution in support of the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution. This resolution was passed by 3 members of the Shandaken Town Board on Monday, February 4th, 2013. Despite near unanimous opposition expressed by members of the public present and those who wrote letters to voice their opposition, which were read at the meeting. And this, what I'm going to read next, is the point. This is a matter of personal conscience and has no bearing on town law. We are not challenging the Second Amendment, but do not feel that it is proper for the Shandaken Town Board to use the town as a platform to advance individual views on the highly charged topic of gun control. The resolution in support of the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution does not represent our views, and we call on the Shandaken Town Board to repeal it. 283 people signed as of this afternoon. 80% of those are residents of Shandaken. And of the remaining 20%, the additional 20%, 60% of the additional 20% are residents of surrounding towns. So, you know, people obviously don't agree, and we think that it's wrong that town board made a resolution saying that it speaks for the entire town when it clearly doesn't. So that's our point. Here's the petition. Do I give it to you, Joyce?
You can give it to me. It was,
Okay.
Nick Alva said it was directed to me, and I did read the 280 signatures, and about 50 or so of them weren't town board members.
Town residents.
No,
resident
50,
members.
yeah, 59
50 or so.
were, right. But of those, I just did count.
Okay, I asked Joyce, the town clerk here, what the population of Shandaken is, and she said in excess of 3,000 people, so would even 300 would be 10%, or so I can safely assume that 2,500 didn't sign it.
I wouldn't make that assumption.
Well, you said you had 280 and there's over
Yeah.
3,000 people.
Right, but that doesn't mean that everybody's actually seen it.
Well, maybe not, but it's been a
No.
month. It's been a month, and there was 280 a week ago, and there's 283 now, so in the last week or so, maybe you've gotten 2 or 3. And I'm not saying whenever we do a resolution here, it never represents 100% of the town.
Absolutely.
I'm sure I can
Even
find...
Russian Rock.
But you did it in our name.
Every
All resolutions are done in your
is
name.
in the town's
Town
name.
name. They're all done in the town
And
name.
I'd like to say,
And they don't represent
respectfully, I
everyone.
respect the viewpoints of the people on here. I have read some of the comments on there that were just a little bit disrespectful.
Some
However,
people were
that's
angry.
people who might have been angry, or what they put down there, instead of coming up like yourself, you're very respectful of yourself, and I appreciate that. However, I still think that we represented with that resolution a majority of the town.
We are going to be sending this to all of the different levels of government.
I hope you do, and I'd
Yeah,
also
we
like
will.
to reiterate that at this point in time, out of the 62 counties in New York State, 34 have made resolutions to repeal the SAFE Act, and there's 17 more that have it
And
that
how
are
much of this
proposed.
is actually a coordinated NRA effort?
Well, I don't know, I can't answer that question. I can't answer that
I have a
question.
question.
All I can say is there's 37 counties, 20 have it proposed, and there's over 20 towns that have done the same thing. And Ulster County actually has done the same thing down in 2 weeks ago with the
Yes,
Ulster
and
County
we have a
legislature.
petition that has over 1,500
Well, I
people.
respectfully take your petition, and I thank the individuals who made it, and in participation, it makes people think, it makes them participate in government, and that's what we're here for. That's what most people here tonight.
Right,
So,
okay.
thank you.
All right.
I just want to say one thing. They said, I read on a lot of that petition that this has no bearing in the town. Well, if you look out here, it does have a bearing in the town. These people live in this town. And they're here to say that it does bear on their rights of the people that live in this town. And I believe that it does.
I just heard that young lady speak, and, you know, I think she said what's...
I'm sorry, I'd ask that you address the board.
Pardon?
I'd ask that you address the board when you're addressing comments.
Okay. I just heard that young lady speak. I don't need the microphone, obviously. I listened to what she said, and I think she has deep concerns about what she believes in. But my concerns are this town, Shandaken, which is more than 3,000 people. And she's just submitted a petition with 280 names, which some of them aren't even town residents. So that leads me to believe that that petition's only been signed by maybe 8% or 7% of the residents of the town of Shandaken. I've lived here 30 years, and I think that this town has always done, in principle, the best thing for the residents of the town of Shandaken. You're elected by all of us, which is the body. You don't maybe agree with everything that the residents want or want to do on different occasions, but you're obligated to do what's best for the whole town. And as you had mentioned, the Second Amendment, you said the right to bear arms. The Second Amendment says the right to keep and bear arms. Everybody forgets that word keep. And there's a lot of veterans in here and a lot of people that fought for this country and a lot of people that are still fighting for this country. And in fighting for this country, you're fighting for our rights. Our rights under the Constitution and our rights under the Bill of Rights. And the people that put that all together fought for this, their freedom and our freedom. And I think that we should not tread on that lightly. And I think that everything we do here as a town reflects on us as residents. And for people to say that you don't have a right to put forth a resolution and vote on it, being our elected officials, they should be saying the same thing to Albany. Because they're our elected officials. And they did what they did, and that's why we have to do what we have to do.
They didn't ask all of us.
So in closing, I just want to let you know that I do rise in support of your resolution, and I hope that most people here today do the same.
Your name, please?
Hank Williams.
Oh,
Well, I called you.
that's right. Well, I couldn't see on the TV phone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my name is Glenn Howard, and I'm the commander of American Legion Post 950 down here in Phoenicia. I raised my hand no less than 6 times to defend and protect the Constitution of this United States. I think our government officials in Albany and Washington have missed the mark miserably. They've missed the mark miserably, and by infringing on one of our constitutional rights is not the way to go. What we need to do is start at the grassroots level, which you board members have done, sending a message to them that they are infringing on our rights and they've missed the mark miserably. Okay? We need to keep track of our mentally incapacitated people, which obviously the man that murdered all those kids in Newtown he was allowed in his own home